All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sarasun Seti. Kick back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to not only the Sarasun Seti YouTube page, but the General Seti YouTube page. Two powerhouse institutions on YouTube giving you nothing but black power, black divinity. I want you to subscribe immediately. I want you to become a member. The link right down in the video description. All you have to do is click it. It says memberships. Click it. You'll get a video introduction, rundown on the memberships, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join. Even if you don't, I appreciate your presence here at the Sarasun Seti General Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. The General got a new website up on Teachable, uploading a lot of dynamic curriculums, powerhouse courses, certificate powerhouse program, certificate courses. First one up, 25 steps to the redemption of definitive black manhood, designed by the General for the brothers. You can get a preview of the course. All you had to do, click the link, go over there. You can preview all the lessons that's included in the course. Also included the Brotherhood of Heru Round Table live stream where the brothers sit down once a week discussing very important, very powerful information, vital information pertinent to their growth and development. Get over their family, preview the course, become a brother, become a member today. That's right. Ring the alarm, kingseti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarasun Seti, DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house. I got something for your family I know you're going to like and love. Get over there, check out that catalog, get a discount, shop and save and shop. Pull the fire alarm, generalseti.com, Seti University, over 2,500 videos, 40 different subjects, all the subjects that you know and love from the General. Olmec, Voyages of the Nile, when Kemet ruled the earth, Nubia, mother of ancient Egypt, Black Babylon, Africans, origins of Mesopotamia, the Naga Kush. That's right, we got Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Freemasonry, hip-hop, Black woman is God, making of the white man, cosmology, astronomy. We got it all. Military geography. Get over there. There's not another website nowhere on the planet that could compare, compete. Become a member today. And everybody knows Seti popping on Patreon. BPC making noise. We never come. Exclusive live stream. Too hot to handle on YouTube, but just so damn exquisite. We keep it for our family on Patreon. And I mean it. We got over 505 live streams. You could click that link right at the top of the chat. Go over there, man. Get your mind blown, and you can thank me tomorrow. That's right. To all the family out there, donate to the General. I thank you. I appreciate you. Those that would like to donate, link is in the chat. Thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels. King Seti, General Seti, Sarasun Seti, Black Power Cartel. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass. You be done for. Nah, family. The video so-called Indigenous American says blacks are settlers. You know what I'm saying? And you know me. That you can't come to me with that. See, you can't come to me with that because I know better. You see, but the way I come at it is totally different because I'm not trying, to claim no terminologies or nothing. I'm not trying to claim no terminologies or nothing. I know what is African, I know what is black, and I identify. And I can, I clearly identify where the origin is. I make the comparative study. I bring forth the documentation, and I leave it there. You see what I'm saying? I leave it there. You see, but when we adopt terminologies that are created to identify someone other than us, and we adopt it and say, oh, we are the the Native Americans and all that. No, we are something different than that. We here, we was here, but those were terms that we did not use. And so when we began to, adopt, they terminologies and shit and this, that, and that becomes a weight. You understand what I'm saying? That we don't need to make it, to make our, to make our argument, you understand, clear that we were here before anybody else. We don't have to adopt them terminology. And so for anybody talking about blacks or settlers, number one, the oldest civilization in the Americas, the Olmec civilization, is African, period. The technology is African. I don't have to argue with nobody. If you go into, and what's clear is what they don't understand. But this is what other groups are doing. You know what I'm saying? When they disconnect from Africa, you see what I'm saying? That's where they lose, because that's the heavy evidence. You understand what I'm saying? When you start talking about, and I can get off into it deep, but I'm not going to do it right now because I done did it so many times. You just had to go to the other videos. You see, that's African technology. And there are many whites, there are many Hispanic scholars that have admitted to the fact that the Olmecs was African. Oh, see? But the thing is, when they get to saying, oh, the Afrocentrics and shit, as if their own people, scholars, have not already identified that, the oldest civilization in America was African. See? Now, when the guy that went down there and who really dug up some of them earliest heads, he was a Mexican, he was whatever the fuck he was. But he admitted when he first saw it that it was African. He didn't say it looked like me. He didn't say this was no indigenous American culture. He said it was African. He said it was Negro. That's exactly what he said. And then they put pressure on him. And then he's saying other. When the motherfucker sees something, he don't have to go through no whole lot of, if he see himself, he gonna identify that. He don't need no whole lot of tests and shit and all of this. You understand? The fabricator lie, this, that, and the third. And so the clear thing is, I stay with the facts, and the facts is black people are the first. Now, when I think of indigenous, I think of, where your phenotype first appeared on the planet. You see what I'm saying? For me, that's what's indigenous. That don't mean you wasn't first in other land masses, because obviously you were. You're first on every goddamn land mass. That's just all it is to it. Nobody beat us nowhere on the planet. Nowhere, except maybe up in them goddamn caves. That's the only place. You see what I'm saying? But as far as you talking about, especially in the southern hemisphere, that's just a fact. I'm not going to argue that with the days of arguing with these Neanderthals is over. You see what I'm saying? So when you talk about the tropical, below the equator and even above the equator, you understand what I'm saying? To the 30th parallel, north, you see, you talking about African people. And so, I'm hearing this argument where they talking about that, this so-called and not native to nothing but that ice. You see, not native to nothing but the ice. So when we talking about this pale, what they want to call a native or so-called Native American, the red Indian that they want to call the red, the so-called red Indian, when dealing with the medical reports, and you want to look it up, go take your time to look it up. They got goddamn skin cancer rates second only to white Americans. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, they're not, native to no goddamn nowhere in the South. Okay? Nowhere in the goddamn South are they native to. So let's just deal with that. You understand? That's why I stick to them genes. You stick to them damn genes, and you know what I'm saying? And you gonna know the possibilities, the probabilities, and the impossibilities. So you're not gonna be no indigenous, especially down there in them areas like off the Gulf Coast and shit like that. No, that's Africa. That's where the Olmecs was. That's where the oldest civilization. Nah, I could even get on top of that. But like I said, you know what I'm saying? Many of them so-called Mexican scholars, when they first stumbled on to them Olmec heads, they said that they was Negroid. Okay? And the documentation is there. Why am I bringing that up? Because a lot of times they want to act like only black people are saying this. That's what they say. Oh, niggas made that up. So what we are saying is, but you don't never talk about your own people that identified the fact that the Olmecs was African. Why am I saying? Because you saying you indigenous. But the oldest, how are you indigenous when the oldest civilizations that's here are African? You understand what I'm saying? And you did not beat us to the South. That's a damn lie. That's a goddamn lie. When you listen to majority of the tales that they talk about, like Teotihuacan and even the Incas and shit, and a lot of them areas, like Machu Picchu and areas like that with the megalithic structures and shit, that was there when they ass got there. They didn't have nothing to do with that. So we got to quit. You know, they got to quit telling this goddamn lie. You know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing where this, you know, this line as so-called indigenous American that saying that you know, that the peoples over here in the Americas come from Siberia. What the fuck do them pyramids got to do with anything in goddamn Siberia? Y'all was in goddamn tents. Y'all wasn't building no goddamn pyramids. Now, if you could show me any development of pyramids, and when we get into the culture of even the Quetzalcoatl, you see what I'm saying? The feather serpent, that's Olmeca. The jade, that's Olmeca. You see what I'm saying? The jaguar, that's Olmeca. You see what I'm saying? That come from and like I say, when you lay it side by side with the Egyptian, when you lay it side by side with even and I say particularly the Nile Valley, because the pyramids and even the alignment of the pyramids, Teotihuacan with the pyramids of Giza and things of that. Even white people's is identifying that is an impossibility for it to be a coincidence. Okay, I can show you. I can take you up there where they are admitting. They just flat out admitting it's African. You understand what I'm saying? I see one motherfucker, I don't use him to say, oh, I say because some motherfuckers just see what it is. They ain't gonna keep lying about this shit. You see what I'm saying? When the shit is so overwhelmingly, you know, where it's not just one or two things. This is African culture, man. This is motherfucking African culture, and you ain't gonna get away from it. So when you looking at the technology, and you could trace the technology to there's no other place you could trace this shit to. Okay, you're not gonna trace this shit where even how the pyramids is laid out, even the construction of the pyramid, the inside of the pyramid, where I show, you know, the L-shaped ascending and descending stairway inside of the goddamn pyramid with the sarcophagus. You got stone sarcophaguses. You got a hieroglyph system. It's only a few civilizations in the ancient world that had a hieroglyphic system. Somehow people think, no, as a language, it's only 3 major civilizations in the ancient world that had a hieroglyphic system as a language. You talking about the Nile Valley Africans, you talking about the Africans that was on the island of Crete, the Minoan civilization, and the Olmec. Only 3 major ancient civilizations. So it ain't like everybody had one. You see what I'm saying? So when you lay out all the you know, the similarities, that just can't be a coincidence. Even the fucking calendar. And I seen these motherfuckers how they lie. You know, they keep saying the Mayan calendar. And I done seen many white scholars that then corrected them. It's not the Mayan calendar. It's the Olmec calendar. The Olmecs introduced the long count and the short count calendar in the Americas. Okay, so that got to be so. Where they saying they indigenous? How the fuck is y'all indigenous? Where at? Where at? Up there in that fucking ice? You see what I'm saying? Y'all must have been indigenous up there where that ice was. But y'all was not indigenous. When you talking about down in the South, and you talking about along that Gulf region, you talking about in America, you talking about the from Texas to fucking Louisiana, Mississippi, you understand, Georgia on around into Florida. All of that was Olmeca. That was no mixture or nothing. It was African. You see what I'm saying? When you talk about the mound is nothing but a carryover from the Olmec civilization. And when you study that, you will see that the earliest mounds started off the Gulf Coast. You see what I'm saying? So that's what is not being talked about. And so and I had to run that even when we go down and they looking at the fossils. And I showed, years ago where it was reported in the Japan Times. It wasn't reported in the nigger Times. It was reported in the Japan Times. And the goddamn he was a paleontologist. You see what I'm saying? Down there, I think it was in the University of Rio de Janeiro, and they have found this African skull. It was more than one, because they didn't found other skulls now from that same pit, same area. So it was more than one skull, but they call her Lucia after Lucy, because it was the oldest fossil found in the Americas, and it was African. And they clearly, and it wasn't no black that said it. It was a damn a Hispanic that said it. So why are they acting like that their own people have not acknowledged that black people was the first people here? That's bullshit. The evidence is they didn't been said it. You see what I'm saying? But you got some like shh, don't tell them. You see what are we gonna have if the cat get out the bag? What are we gonna have? You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of motherfuckers that ain't got no home. You see what I'm saying? They done created a home in their motherfucking mind. And then when you take that shit away from them, they back where they was in just nomads, wandering from iceberg to iceberg. You feel what I'm saying? So for them to say that blacks is settlers, no, our peoples was the first peoples in this land. You see what I'm saying? But our peoples was in the South. Our peoples was in the South. And they ass it was up in that ice. That's where the fuck they was. And then it came a time, you understand, when they came up out of that ice and they came with that fucking Iceman Neanderthalic mentality. That's what the fuck they just no different than over there in Europe. Everywhere they went, they come down on civilizations in the South, whether it was over there in the Hindu Kush, whether it was over there in Arabia, same thing, in Arabia, in the Mesopotamian region, in Africa. You see what I'm saying? And even in the Americas, they all, when that ice melted, they all came down around the same fucking time. And you can see that it was civilizations, and they talk about that. You can get that book, The Making of the White Man, by Paul, what's his name? Paul, is it Lawrence Guthrie? Yeah, but you could get that. And he talks about that right around that time. Civilization was collapsing all over the planet because they was coming down at that time, and they were attacking, bringing all type of chaos and mayhem with them. You understand, as they come into these ancient black civilizations all around the world. So I just want to clear that up and bring a scientific fact that we already know, that the oldest fossils that have ever been found in the Americas have been identified as black, African, Negroid. Now they want to say Australoid and all of this and that. And you know what? I'm not gonna argue that right now. I'm not gonna argue that right now. The evidence is that the African is the oldest damn in the technology. Again, the technology is what's settled it for me. You see what I'm saying? That's what settled it for me. Okay, when I can find the, when we lay this shit out and we lay it side by the technology. If you see a goddamn skyscraper in goddamn America, and then you look and see a skyscraper in goddamn what's over there, Dubai. You understand what I'm saying? And you look at in the layout and the motherfucker is damn near the same, then you know it got a common origin. It got a common origin, and nobody else was doing it like that. You see what I'm saying? Nobody else was doing it like that but the Nile Valley Africans, even the stone heads and shit. You know what I'm saying? The only heads that you seen over here was the African heads. You didn't see no other types carved on that level with the exquisite, you see what I'm saying, level of technology that you see with the African heads. Where they at? I don't want to argue no motherfucking more. Just show it. Motherfuckers that got knowledge, they ain't got to debate it. Just show the fucking heads. The Africans don't have to dare the pyramid. They ain't went nowhere. You can go right over there. Motherfucker still standing right there. Why every time we discuss where it was, I don't want to hear no was. I don't want to hear none of that. Every time we ask you for the evidence, motherfuckers got an absent excuse. Ain't no absence excuses today. You got to show up with the fucking, if you got they say have your homework and I ain't got no way, motherfucker, you fail. You know how that teacher is, they might give you another day to, but some days they ain't them. You ain't got your fucking homework. F. They're gonna go straight to the motherfucking your grade book and motherfucking F. And so that's the day we asking people to show up with the evidence. They don't have the evidence. They ain't gonna have the evidence because there's no evidence. So we're gonna listen to this garbage and you can hear this shit, talking about black people's a seller. No, y'all motherfuckers is settlers. You see what I'm saying? Y'all settlers. Every fucking, and this is crazy because I know it to be true. Every fucking major city in the Americas, Teotihuacan, all of them, they admit that the shit was there before, when they got there. You see what I'm saying? Now ask yourself this question. Ask yourself this question. All these pyramids over here, right? They got goddamn pyramids in America. It's just like, they got a lot of pyramids. Just I don't know what the number is. And so a lot of this shit had just been uncovered in the last 100 years. Now, if y'all been here, listen to me now. If y'all been here and you ain't been nowhere else, how did y'all lose consciousness of all y'all goddamn pyramids that been over here in these trees and shit? I mean, how did y'all lose? I mean, they literally just been digging these goddamn pyramids up in the last 100 years. If y'all been on the land and you ain't been nowhere else, how did y'all lose consciousness of all these pyramids that was over here? Why didn't y'all know where they was? You understand what I'm saying? Why hadn't y'all cleaned them up and shit? And man, many of these goddamn Neanderthals came over here and found this shit. You know why y'all didn't know? Y'all didn't know where the fuck they was because you did not build them. That's really what it boiled down to. And so they stumbled into a lot of these goddamn pyramids just like the Neanderthal, and they lived in it, but they admit that the shit was there before they got there. So, I mean, how you gonna lose consciousness like that? You see what I'm saying? If you was on that level and you building pyramids, how did y'all regress back to goddamn, just throwing spears and shit and living in tents and shit? How did y'all regress back like that if you reach that level of technology and shit? And that's bullshit. That's not their technology. So how in the fuck is you indigenous and you coming into civilizations in cities that predate you? What the fuck? That don't make no sense to me. But anyway, let's listen to this garbage.
Of being the original indigenous people of this land was actually somewhat predicted in this article I read a while back. One part of the article claims that there are differences between being oppressed and being a settler. If people are unable to distinguish between the two, then they risk perpetuating the very colonial dynamics they claim to resist. Overall, I guess that this video won't just be encompassing Black Americans, but also other settler immigrants, in hopes that they can, in more detail, understand these dynamics and be able to not repeat these cycles of oppression and control. Black Americans are just the most prominent example I see happening currently. So this article describes a settler move to innocence called Colonial Equivocation. To elaborate on this, I quickly want to read you guys this quote. Describing all struggles against imperialism as decolonizing creates a convenient ambiguity between decolonization and social justice work.
This shit don't even make no sense. You know what? The information that I just gave y'all, just literally, I can't even listen to that. That shit, like, that's like, the goddamn hamster and shit, the little gerbil talk and shit. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not going to even waste my time playing that. You know what I'm saying? After I do the rundown on it, automatically it don't even make sense. Yeah, well, they talking that goddamn and so when I seen she reading out a book, she don't even know what the fuck she talking about. She regurgitating some shit, and she don't even, and the motherfucker who wrote the book don't even know what the fuck they talking about. Okay, because we can go straight to the archaeologists from the 1800s, and that should have destroyed that. They already admit that we was over here before any of them got over here. Okay, that's just the facts, and so I'm not about to. That's garbage. You see, now this other one they talking about that they came in from Siberia, and that's where they came from. But the fact is that the culture the Maun culture and all of that, that's African. That ain't got nothing to do with them. When you look at the Olmec pyramids, you will see that they got mounds, and you could go down there and I'll show y'all tomorrow that they got mounds from the Olmecs. The mounds came from the Olmecs. The Olmecs was already over here building mounds. But they would put some stone on the outside of them. So a lot of them mounds that you see here in the Americas, they removed a lot of stone off of them mounds. You see what I'm saying? They removed the stone off of them mounds. But when you go down there to Olmeca land, where the Olmecs built, you could see that they used mounds, and then they built around the mound. They put stone on the outside of the mound. You see, so that's us. They was intense. You ain't no motherfucking no ice trying to build no motherfucking mound. What kind of time you got? And you in some fucking ice trying to build a goddamn mound. Motherfucker build him a goddamn igloo and a goddamn fire trying to warm up. You ain't got no time to be building no goddamn mounds in no damn ice. And I ain't never seen them have tools. Yeah, they didn't have no tools neither. They didn't even have tools. Period. They didn't even have tools. Cause if it's there, it's there. I'm not gonna argue motherfucker, it's there. You understand what I'm saying? You can go over to India, they got some shit. They try to knock a lot of their shit down. But when you build it with stone, it's gonna be something left. You ain't gonna be able to destroy every motherfucking thing. When you build it with megalithic stone, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. It's some pyramids over there in Egypt. They didn't build them on the level of the Great Pyramids. On the outside, they was cheap with it. You see what I'm saying? And it fell down. People fucked with it too. But it was easier. But when you went up under that pyramid, you understand, down in the tomb, you understand what I'm saying? Even if the shit fell down on the top, you still got the tomb up under the pyramid. You feel what I'm saying? It's gonna be something. You're not gonna come to me with nothing and give me all these absent excuses. When you reach a certain level of civilization, man, you leaving something. Fuck all that. You understand what I'm saying? So, they didn't have paper. They didn't have no books. The books that they got from the Africans. Period. When you look at the Mayan language, the fucking Aztec came from the Olmec hieroglyph system. That's where it came from. The goddamn so-called Mayan calendar is nothing but a lie, because it's the Olmec calendar. Period. They don't have shit. Period. I don't want to hear no more about that. So they not the original people here. But all that saying that indigenous American shit is like carbon copy. You don't have to do that. Just identify with your own shit. They can't fuck with that. They can't even fuck with that. You see what I'm saying? Instead of carbon copy, just identify your own shit. And just and play the fucking Joker on their ass and be done with this shit. See, they think somebody trying to say that we them. No, we not. We ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Y'all some goddamn Neanderthals. And the fact is, I just looked it up, and anybody want to go and do it, they second behind the Caucasian with skin cancer. Them motherfuckers ain't built for that South. They not built for the South. So I'm just gonna tell you that. Yeah, they stacking up on that goddamn skin. They number 2 behind the Caucasian. Yeah, they number 2. And so that's another thing that nature ain't gonna lie. Nature ain't gonna motherfucking lie. You feel what I'm saying? So that's that. So you figure it out however you gotta figure it out. If you need to formally just look it up for yourself, and then do the research. And if at any time, I'm not gonna even say nothing else about what they talking about, because the shit that they trying to exclude the fact of any African presence in the South, and that's what they cannot do. That's what they cannot do. The cat is out the bag now. You feel what I'm saying? In a way that you can't put it back in, because we didn't compiled all the scholarship showing where their own scholars have identified, and now they want to sweep it up under the. They're just like the European with Egypt and shit. Man, we got thousands of goddamn books, man. You know what I'm saying? Thousands of scholars, white scholars and shit. That when they went into Egypt, they admittedly said this is African. You understand what I'm saying? They tried to ban a lot of these books from even coming into the America. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Say this chicken is off the chain. You goddamn right. Can't get it back. That motherfucker, you know how them chicken, they take off, they gone. Yeah. It's over with. So anyway, family, we just had to put, you know what, when I should have, if I would have played them first, it would have been irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I be trying to get the video, and by the time I do what I got to say, you don't even need to listen to it no more. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't even put it up there, because it's gonna be like, man, why you even put that shit up there? It don't even make no sense. You feel me? So anyway, appreciate y'all being out here, family. We're gonna get black tomorrow. We have some longer videos, and you feel what I'm saying? And that's cool, because we have some substance that but I'll be back early tomorrow, so y'all stay tuned. Make sure you get over there to Patreon, click that link, get over there to King SETI, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe if you're on here, because this the kind of work. And let it be known, I'm the greatest sage of the age. Hey, period. You understand what I'm saying? I freestyle motherfucking, debates. You understand what I'm saying? Any motherfucker out there that want to deal with the scholarship, just give me a motherfucker. If you want to deal with scholarship, I don't want nobody that, you know what I'm saying? And, no fabricated gestures and shit. I don't want no fabricated gestures calling my name. Qualified motherfucker that want to sit down and discuss it, we could do it. And I guarantee you, hands down, you understand, when it's coming with this ancient civilization, that I cannot be defeated. Period. You know why? Because I didn't study the masters. You understand what I'm saying? And I didn't study I got over 35 years of studying my goddamn, even more than that. You see what I'm saying? So I feel confident in crushing motherfuckers at any given time. You understand what I'm saying? So let me know. This is the General Sarasun said. He's saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily, liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.